Hi, everyone. From me, Brent Graham of goodforthegame.co.za, and welcome to this Thursday night edition of the Handicap Rugby Chat That Matters. We've got Rugby Championship, yes, international rugby starting this weekend. Can't wait for that. And, of course, the small matter of the Currie Cup as well. Let's get straight into things and introduce the panel. I'm going to start to the top of the screen. He's had a few weeks off. It's at the Crow Tips. Chris, great to see you back on the show, mate.
Yeah, great to be back, Brent. Of course, always good to be back. And also with Oracle, I think it's been a while since we've thrashed it out on the show as well. And soon we'll be thrashing out a few beers. But yeah, it's been good to see you guys. And yeah, I can't wait for the Rugby Championship. Oh, love international rugby, love the Rugby Championship. So looking forward to getting stuck in.
And I know you've been busy on all fronts, started new work and all of that, but also looking to start your own newsletter with a few tips coming out soon. Where can the guys, when can the guys expect the first newsletter, and where can they find the link on your Twitter, perhaps?
Yeah, so I've done launching a little newsletter. I'm going to give some free tips there, but also start putting on some different type of content on there. It's a bit playing around there. It's a little project that I'm doing, but yeah, obviously the main thing is the betting. So yeah, it's links on my Twitter, and yeah, I'm going to send the first one out this weekend for sure. And I'm looking to send 1 or 2 free tips a weekend. And as I say, start bringing in some other ideas and betting content onto it. So I'm looking forward to it. And yeah, so guys, please join. And yeah, hopefully a lot of benefits along the way if we get a nice crew involved. So it'll be nice.
Right. Well, his Twitter handle is at the Crow Tips. I'll bring it up there. That's Chris Rowe. You can follow him there and get his link. And then the Oracle has back. He took a case of beers off me last week, so we pretty much all square again. Gav, well played. So you messaged me. I was playing paddle, believe it or not, and you messaged me to say, here, I've tipped an absolute shocker. The Cheetahs were something like 24-3 down to the Bulls. I had the -3 Bulls. And can you believe it? The Cheetahs came back a 34-34 draw. What a weekend, Gav.
Brent, I want to start off with that first thing you said. So when I've been, and as most people know, I've been in Cape Town for a while now. I mean, you and I and Henrik had a beer early on after I just arrived. Anyway, subsequent to that, I meet a guy who's talking about paddle, and I meet another guy a week or two later, and he calls it padel. So I go like, what are you talking about? He says, well, in the northern suburbs, they call it paddle. And in the southern suburbs, this is Cape Town, obviously, they call it padel. So when you mentioned it to me, I was really interested to know what or how they call it or how they pronounce it in Joburg. And you've obviously been to a couple of places over there. So that was very interesting to me. I wrote off that bet, Brent. I thought it was gone. I was completely shocked that the Cheetahs came back. But at the same time, this is what the Currie Cup's been all about. I mean, we watched that Griffins Cheetahs game, and they were 33-0 up on a -50 handicap. I'm calling 100, and it ends up being completely 50 the other way. The other team nearly wins, except for a couple of stupid decisions at the end where, the guy goes for the corner. And I'll tell you, Brent and I have been discussing doing not a weekly video. He might have considered doing a monthly video, but I think this is a quarterly kind of video where I've already given notice to the company I work for, saying, in fact, I did when they first employed me 2 years ago, to say that I am going to be retiring in 30 months. So basically the end of 2026. I'm expecting a barrage of comments. Yeah, can you afford it? How much do you need? Whatever. But don't worry about that. I'm okay. I know my numbers. I'm all right. And my son dropped a proper bomb saying he's now turning 22 in January. So 6 months from now, he wants to study. So I'm not going to pay for him to study. So I'm probably pushing my retirement out by 36 months instead of 30 months. It's just the right thing to do. It's not a bad decision. But at the same time, sorry, before you talk, Chris, I just want to go through this. So at the same time, people can say, well, how can you retire? I'm 53. How can you retire at 55 or 56? Do you have enough money? And the reality is, what do you want? So Brent and I have had a couple of conversations. I can see the smile in his face. I'm actually speaking to people right now of all ages. I don't mean like, 18 and 19-year-olds. I'm talking sort of 45 plus. I'm talking to people. I'm going, what's your number? And nobody knows their number. So this is an introduction, Brent, to the video we're going to do every quarter for the next couple of years. What's your number? How much is it? How much do you need every month? And you've got to assume for paid off property. You've got to assume for not paying school fees anymore. You're not paying a car off anymore. You're not paying pension anymore. So obviously, whatever you were earning is much lower today. And the reality is people don't know their number. They really don't. So my challenge, not my challenge, but my comment to everybody watching tonight, whatever age you are, go and ask your mates, hey, what's your number? What are you thinking? What do you think? Because a lot of people don't know. And I'm going to look at a guy like Chris over here, who's a millennial. Brent and I are Gen Xers, so we're different to you in that regard. What is your number, Chris? Out of the top of your head, just give it a guess. Doesn't matter. You don't have to think about it much. How much do you need to live off every month in today's money right now if you had to retire?
Sure.
Yeah, no, quickly. I want a 30-second answer. I don't know.
25.
25. Okay, all right. Brent, what's your at the top of your head number right now? Assuming for all of those things paid off, just you and your wife in a fucking cabin, house or whatever it is. You don't have bills anymore. What's your number? Top of your head. 30-second
I'll
answer.
go with about 15 to 20. But I'm going to suggest we keep this, Gab. I'm going to suggest we keep this for the video in the interest of actually talking some rugby tonight. And
yes. No. I wanted to open up discussion. That's all. No, carry on. Rugby, all about it. No problem.
Yeah, no, that's fine. We'll definitely do a video. On it. But, gents, I'm going to rope us away from Oracle's retirement for just a few minutes. A bit of rugby. Chris, I'm going to start with you here. We got the Rugby Championships starting. And we got the Aussies. There has been money this week. I think it was plus 8.5 early in the week, Chris, and it seems to be edging out. The teams have been named, and we got plus 10.5 Australia. And I know you like your points as well. We in Brisbane, points are on a 50.5.
Yeah, you're nearly in the right way there, Brent. Yeah, of course. I mean, the money obviously comes from South Africa, and that's totally understandable. You have to look at the team's previous form, where these teams are currently in their states, and you wouldn't be if it was even a 20, you probably wouldn't even look twice. You'd be like, you're probably right. But there are a lot of other factors at play here. There is our record against Australia. It is Brisbane record. I know there's all the past, but there is a reason why the bookies have also got it down to where they are. But yeah, by all means, I mean, if you want to be paying the cap, the minus is the way to go. If I was to pay the cap, which I'm not, I am looking more at the points. It would certainly be a minus player. It wouldn't be low confidence, it'd be low to medium, because I mean the books have thrown us under a bus many times. But I just think this time round, there were some interesting comments in the week about how, and it actually kind of made sense. Why do we struggle against Australia and Australia? It's like almost when we used to go over there, our focus was always just New Zealand, and we just didn't really focus enough on Australia, and they caught us unawares. Street dogs that they are, they took us. And I think this time round we will be focused. I think we have to bounce back from that Ireland second test, because we should have really never have lost that, even though Ireland was superb. So just because I want to see South Africa win these two tests before I start blowing their trumpets to win the whole damn thing. So I'm not going to jump on South Africa. Even if I was to pay the cap, it would be the minus. But I love the points here. Generally the points in Australia with us doesn't usually go over 50, weirdly enough. In South Africa, it often goes over 50. In Australia, it goes under. But if you just look at the teams at the moment, Pearce on the whistle, great conditions. It's going to be a fired-up Aussie team. You got our lineup here with Sasha at 10, at Reinach at 9. It just looks like it's going to be a little bit more of an open game. I mean, Wales shipped 30 points past Wales in the rain the other day. I'll be honest, I don't know what you guys think. I think since Jacques and Felix have gone, I don't think the books look like as hectic on defense as they have been against Ireland. So I think there's going to be some points. I think this is 5 points shy. I think we'll see over 50. So I'll be very much more on the over 50, medium to high confidence. But yeah, I would play, if you want to play the cap, I wouldn't go against South Africa. It just looks too much of a mismatch. So my picks, I really like the over 50s. I would even get a 42 points in an alt double if you like the double. I love my doubles. I'll definitely put in a 42 over in a double somewhere.
Right, well, I'm going to bring the Oracle in now, but before we do that, just to welcome the boys in the live chat. Seen Bo from Port Elizabeth, of course. Good to see you there, mate. And Johann Esthuizen is no doubt lining up a treble for us there. I'm sure there's lots of guys watching the athletics as well. And I just want to You mentioned the overs points. I see Southpaw in the Good for the Game forum has gone for overs in the South Africa-Australia test. And I just want to comment on that man's form, because him along with Ben Naidu and a couple of other boys in the forum have been absolutely in superb form on the Olympics. Tebogo at 12-1, and he just won the 200 meters not so long ago. So anything Southpaw tips in the rugby this weekend, pay attention. The man is in excellent form. Talking of excellent form, he took a case of beer off me last week. Oracle, what have you got for us in the Rugby Champs?
Brent, it might seem like a bit of a surprise, but taking a case of beers off you in any game is a result. So I'll take it. Thank you very much. I must be honest, as I said earlier, halfway through that game, I thought I was gone. I still messaged you and said, this is ridiculous. But the other thing I pointed out to you, Brent, which you might remember, is that the first game was a draw and the second game was a draw. And assuming for the worst possible prices on draws in Currie Cup at 20-1, 20 times 20, you got 400-1. So if you found that double draw last week at 400-1, you're in the money. And they don't happen very often, but I certainly believe they happen a little bit better than 400-1, probably 250, maybe 270 every possible double. Let's put it that way, as if the result had arrived. So 400-1 seems like a big price for something that should happen every 250 games. Excuse me. The next thing I want to say is I didn't know this handicap, Brent. I didn't know. I see it's at 10 points. I would have thought, and I would have told people this week, South Africa smashed this Australian team. 10 points feels a lot of too much. Now, I'm listening to you guys saying, and I can see Chris grinning over there, go over points. I'm going to say rather go over South Africa points rather than the game. What was it? 50 and 10. So that's 10 off. That's 20. 30, 20. Sorry?
I think it's about 30. Well, it would be 30, 20. So, yeah, about 30. South Africa will be 30.5 or thereabouts, will it?
Yeah, so 30-20, in other words, with a half point, obviously. But,
so, yeah, Australia 20 yards.
I'm going to say you're probably better off going under 20 on Australia than you are over 30 on South Africa. The most probable for me is Australia don't get 20 points against South Africa. I don't know that they beat them by more than 10. I mean, they can and they should. But that's more of a risk for me. I'd say go under Australia points. Under 20.5 for me is the bet of this game. Australia won't score 21 points against South Africa in this game.
Gav, I'm only smiling because I did not expect that. I was waiting for Gav to say South Africa by 20 easy, Granny's pension. That's the only reason I'm
smiling. They don't beat them by that, Chris.
We don't beat anyone by that much.
Correct. We don't put teams away 100%. So
yeah.
For me, the value is Australia don't score against South Africa. I mean, they'll obviously score. They're not going to get 0. I just don't see them getting 20 points. If they get 20, then I got it wrong, but I just don't see it.
Yeah.
So for me, under points here, South Africa to win the game. South Africa possibly to the handicap. Yeah, but not more than they'll beat Australia. Sorry, Australia won't score 20 points here. That's my call.
Good shot.
Right, Gavin Cohen with the unders there on Australia. I'd like Mondo's one bet, Chris. I don't know what you thought of it. He posted it in the forum. He actually fancies a fast start by Australia. I think he still fancies South Africa, but he's gone 10, Australia race to 10 points. What do you think about that play? Do you ever play that market?
I have.
It's not a market I normally play, but
no, I like the race to 20-30 in play. Once I've seen some momentum, I think the race to 10 is a little bit more of a coin flip for me. I do think Australia come out fast. I honestly don't think we have it all our own way in this match for periods of this game. So I think if it's going to happen, it's going to be in the beginning because it does looks like our second. We should have a strong second half again. But I know I wouldn't take it. That's not on this game. I wouldn't be taking, even though I could see the logic and the price is all right for it.
I'd be scared to take race to 1, Brent.
Well, let's.
Yeah, I mean the first penalty. A lot of people like first penalty, first score. And I think it's a bit of a delay.
That's it. Yeah, I normally prefer the 80-minute bets myself. Sorry, man, guys. I apologize if my Wi-Fi. Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with it at the moment. It's terrible. So I'm battling to hear you guys a bit. So if I do cut you off, apologies. And I know the odds of me stepping in when Oracle's talking at some stage is pretty good odds at some stage during the evening. But Oracle, I'm going to start with you now, mate. New Zealand minus 18.5 against Argentina. This handicap has moved. It was minus 15.5. I haven't looked around everywhere. I got this quickly off PokerBet before I came on, and we got a points line here of 52.5. Second place in Wellington.
It's moving the wrong way, Brent. This team won. I remember sitting in COVID times, and I still said to my kid, like, this team's like 12-1 to win the game. And Argentina got closer and closer and closer, if you remember that game, second half. The commentators were going, like, New Zealand need to wake up here. Argentina can win this game. And they won it. Once you've tasted the blood, we all know that with as Africans, you know, the lion tastes the blood, the dog tastes the blood, they want to put them down. Argentina have tasted the blood in New Zealand. They can win again. Of course they can. That's too many points. It's way too many points for a team that can win. I'm sorry, it's just too many. At 18, in fact, I'm an Argentinian punter at 10. They arrive in New Zealand at 10. I'm interested. So 18 doesn't scare me. It's too much. The other thing, and I've said this before, this competition of what do they call it? Pacifica or something.
Super Rugby.
Yeah, it's the the New Zealand teams have not. They're behind. I know I'm sort of scratchy about what I want to say, but I just in my head I'm thinking, but they've been playing Australia and the South Pacific. We've been playing Ireland, Wales, Scotland, Italy. Yeah, maybe not Italy, but they're not ready. Argentina, they sent all of their oaks back, or not sent them. They applied for jobs. Obviously, a lot of them playing in France. I'm all over Argentina. I think at 18, like I said, I'm an Argentinian punter at 10. For me, plus 18 is crazy. I'll even have a couple of units on the board. They can win this game.
Oracle confident in Argentina. Chris, I'm going to bring you in then. I'm going to just disappear for a sec. I'm going to try to change connections and see if that helps. Africans, if you're listening, sort yourselves out, guys. I'm going to be cancelling that contract that I've had for many years with you. But Chris, talk us through your thoughts on this game, and don't get worried when I disappear. You won't be stuck with Oracle for the whole show.
Oh, no. Looking forward to it. Well, okay. I'm actually going to go oppose you. I hear what you're saying, and there was a period a couple of years ago where Argentina were beaten New Zealand, but I just think of late Argentina are just nowhere near the side. The only thing I'm worried, I don't know if you've checked, is there's terrible weather conditions in Wellington. That Cape Town's going to be wet and 50-kilometer wind, so that's definitely going to bring the teams closer together, and I think that definitely brings this cap in. But if all things are even, I would definitely be in New Zealand. Yeah, I think they're going to build under Razor. I mean, Argentina, it's also hard to gauge. You know, they played that B team French side, hammered that Uruguay side. I think New Zealand had a much better hit out against England leading into this game. I like Blackadder's back. I see Ioni's on the bench now. Barrett at fullback, Jordan on the bench. So I just think if New Zealand put it together, they're a 20-point better side than Argentina every day of the week. If the weather wasn't so bad, because that's when if I remember when Argentina were doing well, which was in the wetter conditions, when they were due to Australia back to back that 1 year, it was wet. So it brings Argentina into the game. So this is a very, very weak minus New Zealand punt, but I wouldn't be on back in the RGs. Yeah, I think New Zealand are just far more better side than RGs at the moment.
Right, guys, I've changed across to my 4G. So touch wood, so far it's been a little bit better. But I'm with Chris on the one. Let me put it to you another way. If I'm backing Argentina on the plus here, I'm not watching the game. Because watching this New Zealand team against them is actually a nightmare. You know what? Even even against England beat both handicaps, but there were times in the game where you were just sitting on the edge of your seats. New Zealand were throwing everything at it. And so, if I'm backing Argentina, I'm going to gym or I'm walking the dog or I'm doing something like that. But I tend to be with you here, Chris. And once again, I like Mondo's pick on the forum as well. He went with New Zealand I think he went the minus handicap at halftime. I'm expecting New Zealand to come out quickly. I can see a situation what Gavin described, which happened previously, where Argentina actually worked their way back into the game. But I think New Zealand are going to start fast, and I'm going to be looking at a New Zealand potential minus handicap at halftime. Yeah. Anything else to add, gents, before we move on to the Currie Cup?
Well, Will Jordan, last try scorer, could be a nice one.
Long. Yeah, those type of bets. That's where we miss old couch critic. He used to love coming in with those bets. But
I used to bet on them a lot, but not anymore. Not as much as I used to. But that I could see him coming on after all this time and getting the hometown hero try there at the end.
Right, well, let's move on to the Currie Cup. We've got 4 games to talk about, and we've got 3 games taking place on Saturday, 1 on Sunday. The Currie Cup form, well, if you're reading form in the Currie Cup, you probably got yourself in a bit of trouble if you're following the form book, because the way the results have gone, if the form book tends to get thrown out of the car, whatever, out of the room. Let's start with you, Chris. We got the Lions minus 8.5 against the Pumas. Now, I kept this 5.5, so there has been a bit of money. Well, I think it opened 7.5. It suggested to me, I think it was Fareed on Twitter, said wrong favorite in the words of Oracle here. And I've got a feeling we might hear those words of Oracle as well. I'm not sure, although it's the Lions. But it's an interesting one, because, the Lions haven't been particularly strong this season, but they won a really impressive win was they hammered the Pumas in Nelspruit by close to 50 points, if I recall. So
that was 80 points. It was like 70 points. Yeah, that was an unreal first. That was an unreal first game. Hey, talk about form book. I'm gonna be very kind of lazy here. I'm just gonna say it straight. Currie Cup for me is a plus and an overs or no play. I don't even have to look at teams. I don't look at form, but I generally play that, and I'm hitting when I'm hitting 60-70% of the time. And last season the points went down, but the previous 2 Currie Cups are high scoring, but the points are back for me. And honestly, that's my play. I don't get on the form. I don't look at the form. I don't look at the minus caps. But if you want to comment on this game, I think this is probably a few points too high. I think the Pumas will give the Lions a much better run this time. I do think the Lions win. In saying that, I did look at the caps, but they are well capped. But as I say, where my money goes, it's not certainly won't be on a minus here again, because this is again another one that Pumas can rock up and win, and we shouldn't be surprised. But I have the point, and the points are coming out 30 minutes before sometimes now. So sometimes I'm like even missing it as well. So I must say, when it's available to me, that's my play, and it works for me, and I'm just going to stick by it.
Yeah, Chris, I must admit, Johan also coming in saying he will continue with points as well. I've also been sort of following the points more. It has become a bit of a challenge because the points lines do come out quite late. So I normally post. I've got one blog that I post my Currie Cup picks on, and I tend to come out pretty close to the games because I like to get a points line. And with all these games being on Saturday, unfortunately, no points lines for us to look at. Let me before I bring Oracle in, Chris, I'll set the points line for this game. 60.5. Is it a no bet or an overs for you?
60. It'll still be overs. I wish it was a little bit more, but if it's still at 60, I'm still playing 60. Even like last week, the Cheetahs and the Bulls, it was 10-3 at halftime, and I still didn't actually panic, and I had 60 points there. So at 60, I'm still playing. 61, 62, I'm still playing. But about that, then I'm going to start having a good look. And as you know, I like my outlines, right? So if I see 2 games, if they've been available, they haven't been available to me lately. So I haven't been punting as much because sometimes I'm missing it or I don't have a game to double up with. But at 60 Currie Cup in the high faults, these type of teams I'm still playing over, no problem.
One cautionary I will say is, funny enough, Ellis Park hasn't been perhaps quite as high scoring as I would have expected.
Not Ellis
Park, a bit of a low scoring clash. I think it was Brick was 25-13. But I'm leaning with Chris there. For me, it would almost be a no bet or an overs play there. But Oracle, we've kept you quite long. enough on this game. Is it still a case of your beloved Lions playing here, or could we convince you to go against them?
Brent, the only thing that Chris said wrong here was that the Pumas can win this game. They're not going to win this game. What we do know, though, is we don't know how many points are going to be in this game. And we've seen games that can go 60, 50, 52, 46, that kind of thing. I think the Lions win this game, I'm going to say comfortably. And when I say comfortably in Currie Cup means 10, 12 points. So a 52-40 is comfortable for me. They'll beat this handicap. It won't be by much. So I'm not suggesting the minus is the play to go here. I think a total points is the way to go here. And if anything, Lions total points. Go over on Lions. I'm going to assume they're about 35, 33. I don't know what the number is. But they'll win the game. And these teams don't care about winning by 7, 10, 12, 15. They don't care about the handicap. My son is going to be studying some sports stuff at the Science Institute in Cape Town. And I was going to say to you, one of the things he points out to me every time we watch, he goes, should they go under the poles? I said, yes to them. They should go under the poles. And that's where management and coaches don't understand. I've seen so many teams run for the corner, take their 5, and they go, oh, we lost by 2. We lost by 3. So, yeah, I don't think the Lions do that. I think they win this game by, around about 10. I think the handicap's well set here. I wouldn't be surprised if they won by 20, and I wouldn't be surprised if they won by 2. I think over points here is the way to go. Over Lions points is the way to go.
Right. Well, if my 60.5 quote is correct, we'd expect Lions points to be about 34.5 or thereabouts. Oracle, I'm going to stay with you for the next game. We got the Bulls up against the Griffins. Now, this came out, this handicap with World Sports betting at 36.5. I actually capped this game, and I'm first to say my Currie Cup handicaps can be wildly out at times because it's just such a tough tournament. But I capped this somewhere in the 50s, I think 55.5 or something to the Bulls. The Griffins last week beat the handicap against Western Province. They almost beat the Cheetahs at home the week before, but the Bulls beat them by 42 in Velcom. And I just think the Bulls are going to be too strong. I don't care what team the Bulls put out. But the handicap is moving in my direction, but slowly. And at the moment, it's 40.5. Oracle, what are you doing?
Brent, excuse me, for the last couple of weeks, I've gone Griffins. I've gone for the Griffins. And I've been surprised that they've lost every handicap that I've seen up until now, except the one I went against them, which was the one that I called 100 points 2 weeks ago. And they nearly won the game. I don't know what to make of this team. I actually don't know what to make of this team. And I think bookmakers trying to price this up, whether it's algorithmic mathematicians sitting in Switzerland or bright punters sitting in Bloemfontein, I think they're baffled here. This is the toughest of the games. And I'm going to say, you know what? Wait for the Griffins to be 20 points behind in running, in play, and punt the Griffins at whatever plus you get. That's my answer to this game. I don't care about the rest. I don't even want to sit here trying to work out how many points I got. This is an in-play bet. Wait for the Griffins to be in real trouble. Back them to come back. And if they're winning comfortably, back them to not win comfortably after that. Go against them if they've gone up well. This is a 15 to 20 play. I remember Sean Nicholas calling it the 10-point rule. I'm going to give it the Griffins 20-point rule. If the Griffins are 20 points ahead of where they should be, punt the other team to come back. And if the Griffins are 20 points behind where they should be, punt the Griffins to go the other way, to come up. I'm going to call it the Griffins 20-point rule. You can trademark it. You can remember it forever. But I'm no longer interested in punting the Griffins at any point until I can see what they can do on the field or what they are doing on the field. They do not have my money anymore. I will not even punt them with anyone's money, never mind Granny's pension and anything else. Griffins, I will watch 15 to 20 minutes in play before I have a strike. Not interested otherwise.
Right.
What do they call them? The pumpkin purple eaters or whatever.
What to do, Oracle. The purple people eaters, right? Chris, let's bring you in on this one.
Yeah, well, I don't know what did you cap the points here, because this will be my most confident points play, even if it's at 65. This is going to see close
You're
to 80
speaking my
points.
language, Chris. Your first few words was I don't know. I like that. Be honest, that's great.
No. This is the one. I mean, this game's going to have piles of points. I don't know about the cap. I mean, the Bulls should beat the cap, but this is easy going to be a 55, 60, 20. This is 80-point game. This.
You'll get a points line
What's
here.
it,
I'm very confident. The points line will be around 75.5 in this game.
Oh my!
Maybe
Jesus.
even a little.
See what I mean?
I
see what I
think
mean?
we're going to get the highest points line we've seen for years.
Well, this was what I was thinking without
last
even,
week,
yeah.
Western Province against
I
Griffins.
said 80.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. So I think you're going to get 75.5 is your line. So the thing is, I hear you with 80 points, but the problem is at 75.
I'm not saying I don't say it will be 80. I don't say well. I mean,
what are you expecting?
Yeah, I'm expecting 80, but 80 is a hell of a lot. But if the cap's at 75, I mean, yeah, I haven't seen a. Have you ever seen a? I haven't seen a 75 point cap. I've never seen.
Well, there was 70. Griffins game. The Griffins game last week in Cape Town, I stand to be corrected, was about 72.5. So I think up on the Highveld, we're going to get a few points added to that. And I do think we're going to get I agree with you. I've never seen on the Currie Cup. Well, I can't recall seeing it. I think we're going to get a points line here of 75.5. Let's see how close I am. But that's what I'm thinking we're going to see here.
Well, you're on the right track there. I mean, if Province was given 72 points, Bulls at home surely have got to be given a few more points there. So you're absolutely right. You know what? Crazy as it might seem, I'll probably still take the over. I honestly believe the Bulls can rack up close to 20, and the Griffins have shown they've scored.
And you'll probably win. You'll probably be banking it in 60 minutes.
Yeah, well, I would. I would have, even if it's that high. I wouldn't be taking unders just because. Yeah, it just looks like that's going to happen because the Griffins are adding. They are adding to the game. Like we've seen it. They are scoring themselves, and whatever Bulls team put out, I'm pretty sure Bulls, if it's the weather, the conditions are going to do it right, they're going to put in 50, 60, maybe close to 70, and Griffins could easily get 20 themselves. It could easily be a 100-point game. So yeah, go over. If it's 75, take the overs.
Lovely, 75. Let's see what it comes out at.
If it's 75, we go for it. We go over. If it's 75, you and me are going over.
Against Cheetahs.
This, to be honest, Brent, this is
I'll decide on the
day. This is a tougher one, hey. This is one I'm going to sit back and watch. Province have been. It's actually unbelievable because if Province win this game, they actually go equal with the Cheetahs, and that makes no sense because to me the Cheetahs are a much better side. So, but it wouldn't be not unlike Province to actually go and win this bloody game. But they've been so inconsistent and terrible. So this is a game that could be anything in my opinion. So I'm hoping by now the internationals have done me well and the earlier games have done me better. So I don't have to get too emotionally involved in this one, which will probably be the case. But at this point, I don't have a fair view. And it's going to be raining in Cape Town if that matters to anybody. Cape Town seems pretty all right in the rain, but it will be shitty weather on Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, I must say, I remember the Bulls game. It rained in Cape Town, and there was still 55 points, and that was torrential rain. So interesting to see the points there. Gavin, I can tell you that there's been a bit of money for the Cheetahs. Yeah, I capped this game plus 4.5 Western Province. That's exactly where World Sports Betting came out. The money is coming for the home team, but I can't have it. I'll tell you straight, I think the Cheetahs win this one, and I think they beat what has been a disappointing Province team. You got any views, Oracle?
So I can't have a bet with you on the Cheetahs.
Get your case of beer back there, Brenty.
No, you may be Chris, because you have a bet.
No, I'm agreeing with you. That's crazy.
You can actually have the beers.
I was hoping to win some beers off you backing the Cheetahs here, but I agree with you. Absolutely. I think they got the wrong favourite here. I don't know where they got this from. I remember when the Cheetahs were at home to Western Province 3 or 4 weeks ago. I think they were -6 or -7 or -9. I can't remember. It was something like that. I told them it was way off. Cheetahs would win the game comfortably. They did win the game. It wasn't comfortable though, but yeah, Cheetahs for me, they win this game. They got the wrong favourite. Take Cheetahs on the board. Easy win.
It takes us to our final game, and it's an interesting one as well. It takes place on Sunday. The Sharks -6.5 against the Griquas. Also a little bit of money edging for the Sharks. I think it opened 5.5. Chris, let me start with Oracle on this one. Oracle, I capped this game Sharks -13.5. Now I know the Sharks are unreliable, but the Griquas to me are no world beaters either. And for me, the Sharks need this one. I'm expecting this line to edge out some more. You got any thoughts on this one?
Khaleesi playing? If the French club left him, let him go? I'm just joking.
No,
What's the handicap here?
I don't think he's anything official here. I stand to be corrected. Yeah.
What is this?
He'll
12,
be with the
13?
box.
What is this?
But yeah, the
What's
Sharks,
the handicap here?
that's 6.5. 6.5.
Sharks at home.
I get the feeling Gab's listening to Olympics while he's talking to us here.
No, I was
background.
asking, is the Sharks at home? I can't believe that. If the Sharks are at home, which I think they are.
Sharks at home.
Yeah.
-6.5.
No, this Griquas team has been poor, and you can go back to the game against the Sharks. I think they scraped home, if not lost by a couple. They were in trouble. I tipped them to win that week, the Griquas, and they've been poor. They've lost to everybody. They've given me no result to give them any confidence. The Sharks team win this game. And I did joke about Khaleesi, but the reality is the Sharks have to wake up. They know they're in trouble. They didn't win anything last season except for that, except for that European trophy that everybody in Europe says wasn't worth anything because it's a B league. But the Sharks, you look at them on paper, they're great. They played okay. In fact, they haven't played okay. Sorry, I'm complimenting them. They've been rubbish. So if they win this game, they'll do well for themselves. I expect them to win. -6 isn't enough. This is the game they're going to show it. They probably win by 20 or 25, yeah. And can they win by 20 or 25? Absolutely. It'll be easy win for them. Won't be difficult at all. Simple win. Sharks minus all the way. And that's not, and I'm not watching the Olympics.
Although I think the Greek was only.
Well,
did you say Griquas? I smell a bit.
No, did the Griquas? I think did they? Chris, what happened? Did they beat the Sharks?
Yes, they did.
Yeah,
they won by 2 or 3, right? And then it was the first week.
The Sharks went ahead by like.
That's right. They were well ahead, and they lost by a couple in the first week.
Yeah. It was a crazy game, and so we were watching it. Yeah, I was watching it. Yeah, but if you just quick in my views, I think this cap's wrong. If you look at that form and you look at those teams, if Sharks bring that form and don't go to sleep, they should be putting the Griquas away. You're right. That cap's a few points wrong. I think Sharks will come in.
Brent, let's ask this question here, and Chris for that matter. If we were offered, never mind the year, right? We were sitting there blindfolded in a cave, and somebody said Sharks -6 against Griquas, pick a year. You could throw a dart and you're going to win that bet. This is an anomaly here. If you're giving me -6 Sharks, sorry, I've only woken up properly now after really thinking about it. This is crazy. Just put a bet on -6. That's a joke. And I used to take -4, -3 Griquas against Sharks or Province, even Lions in Kimberley in the old days. I say the old days, 10 years ago, 12 years ago. With confidence. This for me, you can honestly go to your bookie, put $50 on, $100 on, walk away. Money, whatever. You're paying for tomorrow's breakfast. Either you're having a cool breakfast or you're just having, bacon on toast with a bit of cheese and you're done. Otherwise, you're having that full gourmet. Go and punt Sharks minus against Griquas. Small breakfast or big breakfast. That's honestly your punter. You're going to spend money on breakfast. Either you're spending a lot or you're spending a little. Punt breakfast Sunday on the Sharks minus here.
I must say, if you didn't have your wits about you in tonight's show, you'd be bloody confused by some of the comments. Point is, we're having breakfast. We just don't know what we're eating.
Brent, I'm going to take you back to, I'm going to go 7 or 8 years ago, Brent. Now, you're going to remember the story. So the Bulls beat, I think it was Stormers, or no, it wasn't. It was Hurricanes, or I don't know what it was, but they were like 6-1 to win. And I remember my parents live in America, and I remember going on the Sunday morning and having a breakfast at a place near Hillcrest in Durban. Can't remember the name of the place. But anyway, my father says to me, sees the picture on Facebook. He goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, I'm having a Bulls breakfast." He said, "What does that mean?" I said, "Well, I punted the Bulls to win this game, and I had a proper go, and they won comfortably." And he goes like, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Well, I was going to have breakfast yesterday, but now I'm having a proper breakfast because it's called a Bulls breakfast." And everybody will know they're going out for the night. They're taking their wife out for dinner, their kids to where Milky Lane, whatever it's called. And you're going to have a milkshake, or you're going to have a proper milkshake. I don't know. You have a punt. This is a small one. Were you confident? I'm sorry. Sharks, for me, they don't lose this game. Look, Sharks losing the game, you're not having breakfast for 3 weeks. Let's put it that way. But if you go -6 here, you're having a proper breakfast, or you're not having a breakfast. This one's a sitter for me. It's too much. I mean, sorry, it's not enough. It's too much of value. 8-6, that's crazy. I remember going to Griquas games
well, I'm going to bring
in Kings Park and watching them win by 50, 60, 70. Sorry, the Griquas aren't winning this game. They're not winning. Minus all the way.
Okay. Well, I'm going to bring us into the best bets with a couple of observations. One, Gavin is on the Sharks, and if the Sharks win, he's going to have breakfast. And two, he looks like he's lost a lot of weight. I don't know when the last time this man actually had a breakfast, so I'm a little bit worried about that.
I'm having breakfast if the Sharks win. Absolutely.
Let's go best bets. Oracle, I'll let you start, Oracle. Can I assume that the Sharks are one of your best bets?
They are, Brent, but I'm going to go back to what I said about Australia. I'm going to say under Australia points here for me is absolutely the best bet. They've so badly underperformed in this Super Rugby Aratura. Obviously, I'm not getting it right. I'm not 100% sure of the pronunciation. But this Super Rugby Pacific, the Australian teams have been pathetic. And if I don't care who their coach is, they're going to get 23 players together and they're going to come up against Russie's World Cup winning Springboks. Fiji nearly beat them. Wales beat them. This is a poor team. I do not see this team scoring 10, let alone 20. You can go under 10 with confidence here. The best I give Australia, 3 penalties. They don't score a try. 3 penalties, race over, South Africa win this game comfortably. That's best bet of the weekend. Under Australia.
Chris.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm. Yeah, what? Yeah, yes. Eh?
No, what I was going to say, before you give your best bet, now that you're sending a newsletter, I just want to know that anything that's said on the handicap show is copyright. You're not allowed to tip.
Oh, yeah.
I'm only kidding.
Oh, yeah. I really know. We'll see. We'll subscribe.
We might even have the same best bet this week.
As long as you subscribe, you'll be able to see, because if you don't, Brent, you won't know, right? So it doesn't matter. No, I'm gonna. I mean, I hear what Oracle's. I know Oracle's saying, but I'm gonna oppose it. My best bet is the over in this game. I hear that sentiment. I totally do, but I do see Australia scoring a try or two in this game. I think they do get close to 20, and I think we get about 35. I see about a 35-20 scoreline. Breaks the 50. Overs is my best bet of the weekend.
All right, Chris. As we spoke earlier today, you are employed very close to me geographically. So let's do this.
All right.
I'll go under Australia. You go over. We'll do 19 try no bet. Sorry, 19 no bet. So if it lands on 19, Australia points, that is, there's no bet. 18 or under, I'm a winner. 20 or more, you're a winner. Okay? And that's the first 2 beers of 3. So we're going to have 3 beers together. Whoever wins or loses space of the first 2.
Okay,
if you want to stay after that, that's up to you.
That sounds good. Perfect. I'm on. Happy to take that on.
Okay, cool. I'm done. I'm easy. I'm happy.
The only condition is that when you guys are having the beers, you've at least got to take a photo and send it through so we can put it up on the show.
Of course we're going to take a photo, bro. You know that.
Videos, photos, we'll see.
There will be three
Well,
drinks.
gents, I'm
There
gonna
will be
conclude
three
the show
drinks,
with you, yes.
Ed, and the the loser pays for the first two. Done.
Done.
19,
100%.
no bets.
Let's
20 or more, you're a
end the show
winner.
with Johan
18 or less,
Estey.
I'm a winner.
I think we got it now, Gav. My weekly treble for Johan Estey is an Oz plus 10.5, Argentina plus 19.5, Cheetahs win, and that works out at 5.2 to 1. He also likes a points double in the Currie Cup. Yes, of course, we're waiting for lines there. But anyway, gents, that's it. Gav, thanks very much for being on the show. Look forward to seeing who wins your bet with Chris. And yeah, have a cracking weekend and enjoy the Olympics.
Thanks, Brent. Thanks, Chris. Yeah, absolutely.
Cheers, guys.
You don't have to wait to see who's going to win it. I can tell you I'm going to win it.
And Dinesh just
I'm a
makes the
cheap
point. Oracle,
type.
I didn't hear when you said the
I'm
game would
happy
be
with a
played.
couple of beers. Suncorp. Yeah, I'm not worried about that. Australia.
Thanks to yourself.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, guys. The final word, treble, Bulls point, Sharks, and SA minus. Chris, Laka, good to have you back on the show, and enjoy, everyone. We'll see you next week on Handicap Rugby Chat That Matters.